ಯೋಜನೆಯನ್ನ ತರಬೇಕು. ಬಹುಶಃ
I will call Mr. Prabhu.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಾలు.
Sir, the bill is a long overdue piece of legislation that we have been waiting for a long time. And I must compliment my friends on the left side of mine, but the left party, the Communist parties, for putting pressure on the government consistently to bring this bill. And therefore, I really congratulate my friends in the left parties, along with, of course, my good friend, the Minister for Labour, for bringing this piece of legislation. So my first request to the Minister, don't call them unorganized labour. Why should you call them unorganized? I still don't understand. They constitute 93% of the workforce of the country. They are, in a way, they are organized. They would like to get organized. It's a failure on the part of all our trade union movements and others who could not go to them, reach them, bring them together. They will like to get organized. So, sir, don't call them organized. If at all you want to call them by some name, call them neglected workers in the country. The predominant neglected workforce of the country, which is actually suffering for a long time, neglect of the government, neglect of the society, and in the process, they are really suffering. So, first of all, sir, while congratulating you, I would like to request you, first of all, sir, the bill itself, if you go by the substantive provisions of the bill, essentially, it is talking about only creation of board. If it is a substantive provision, if you really go by, it is not really talking about any substantive benefit that will go to the workers immediately. So it's a board which is really going to be the fountainhead of deciding what should be the benefit that should go to the worker. So my request is, can we not think about some direction to the board? We are just saying that they should talk about 2-3 things which I'll come to it, but can we not actually ensure that it is now to the mercy of the board, who if at all decide to do something, the workers will get something. But otherwise, in the absence of that, workers will continue to suffer as they have suffered in the past. So my request is, can we actually think of giving a direction to the board that they must conform to this, they must ensure that such benefits will be given. So this is my first request. So secondly, in terms of coverage, sir, we are talking about coverage of various sets of workers, but sir, some workers, we should be mentioned specifically.
10 minutes, sir.
For example, I would request the Minister, can the domestic servants not be brought into the purview? Because this is not mentioned in the object of the bill. So therefore, can we not, I know. So my request is that. Secondly, sir, in case of marginal farmer, you talk about 1 acre farmer, half acre farmer, or few guntas. In some areas it is called differently. In my area we call it gunta, small little part of acre, 1/40th of acre. Sir, can we not bring them also under the purview of unorganized labor, because they may have some small little land, but for all practical purpose, they are also as bad as the workers are, or in a way they are worse, because in a way the banks will think you are a landowner, but in reality they own nothing. So can we not bring them under this purview? So my third suggestion, please bring the wives of the farmers as the unorganized.
Just a minute. Now 10 speakers remain to take part in the discussion. Now the time is 6. If the House agrees, we will extend the time. How many? 1 hour. 1 hour.
To all the members to speak, and tomorrow we can reply. We can reply tomorrow.
Yes.
I said every member should be given opportunity to speak. Yeah.
Clarification. Does it mean that the passing of the bill will be done tomorrow after the Honourable Minister replies?
Yes.
Is it the wish of the House?
Yeah.
Is it, sir?
Yes, sir.
1 hour he has agreed.
No, sir, I'm asking, if the Honourable Minister is replying tomorrow, then the passing of the bill will be done also tomorrow?
Obviously.
Now,
Please.
Yes.
if passing is posted for tomorrow, reply also will be on tomorrow.
Would you like to vote against the bill?
No.
Because I'm getting here in growth.
No. Now the question is,
Everything in the world is not such simple, Adhir Babu. Is not that
Now you see, we are only fixing the time. The schedule is to be decided by the Honorable Minister. And if he is agreeable, the passing and reply will be on tomorrow.
Is it agreed?
If he agrees.
You can reply tomorrow and vote tomorrow. Pass the bill.
We also agree.
Suresh Prabhu, Suresh, you can continue your speech.
Sir,
The Honourable Minister may reply tomorrow morning.
sir,
Session is complete. Today we will have the reply and voting tomorrow.
Yes,
sir,
The discussion at this rate will be concluded
yes,
with your cooperation.
right.
Yes.
sir, as I was requesting the minister, in terms of coverage, we should also bring in small farmers, but in addition to that, bring the wives of all the farmers, irrespective of acreage of area. Sir, the wives of farmers work as bonded laborers. They have no choice. They have to work in the field, irrespective of her wishes, and therefore you must bring the concept of making sure that all the wives of the farmers are treated as unorganized labor. It is not a family labor. So what's the choice for a lady in the family? She has to go and work there. So my request is that minister should also consider doing this. Sir, thirdly, even the children of all the farmers, because we have a law passed by the parliament against the child labor. But if you go to any field in India, there are child laborers who are working there. So I'm not saying prevent them from doing it because it is a compulsion for them. The family has to survive. But at least treat them also as workers, so they should also get protection, not from the farmer, because he has no money to pay, but from the state. The state must take care of the ladies and the children of the farmers, because that they really need that of protection. So now we are talking about benefits. So the benefits, first benefit you are talking about provident fund. So just imagine the concept here should be that a state must provide even the employer's contribution. Because if you really ask a small little farmer to also pay, it will not be possible. So my request is, it is impossible that when you introduce a concept of provident fund and you expect the employer should contribute to it, don't think it will be possible in case of small farmers. So I think we should think about small farmers on a totally different basis. And in case of construction worker, absolutely. You must ensure that a builder, whoever is constructing that property, he must be able to deposit the money beforehand, before he starts the business. Because many times we have seen that those who construct houses are houseless. Those who are after completion of the house, the workers are not going to get anything. So make sure the provision should be such that provident fund should be deposited before the construction starts, and you must be able to put that money ahead of this. So then again, there is no mention about pension. My request to the minister, when you are talking about various benefits, as you have talked about provident fund, also please talk about pension. This is an important issue which is not mentioned in the bill.
Please.
There is already a scheme in force.
Please conclude.
Sir, when you are introducing a bill of this type,
Suresh, please conclude.
yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
You complete your.
Sir, I am very fortunate that somebody who thinks about the workers is in the chair. So please allow me to speak, sir. So I am so fortunate. So I am sure you will have passion for me also, while I like you are for the workers. So the pension should be mentioned. And then the maternity leave. Sir, we have seen the construction worker, the woman who had delivered a child a few hours ago, and she has no choice but to work for a living, because now she has to feed one more mouth. So please, my request is also mentioned, not mentioned here, maternity leave should be definitely provided for, particularly for a construction worker. They do such a hard job. And paternity leave also, because it is no longer maternity leave. It could be paternity leave. If a child is delivered, you must actually provide for that. And sir, another scheme which is not mentioned, you have talked about benefit. The creche for children. Sir, the small little children who are just left on the road while the mother is working, she is crying there. Mother is also weeping in her heart, cannot go and rescue the child. So my request is creche is a must for all construction workers particularly, but also even other places, because this is a very important activity. And sir, now the representation on the boards. So my request, of course, for the board that I talked about, but sir, the representation on the board, how will you ensure that 6 representatives or 7 representatives from unorganized labor will come on the board? Because you yourself are admitting that they are so unorganized that they cannot be represented. Now, how do you actually ensure that unorganized labor will have a proper representation, having a representative character on the board? What is the methodology that you are going to adopt? And the same way will also apply to the employer. Sir, like the laborers are unorganized, even the employers are unorganized. Because there are many multiple employers, as many there are employees. So therefore, how are you going to organize these persons, and how are you going to ensure that these boards will really be representative of the workers themselves as well as the employers? So therefore, my request is, please tell us the methodology that you are going to adopt to make this happen. Sir, the board, sir, I'm winding up, sir. Sir, the boards that you are talking about must have a time limit for various states. So if the boards are constituted, first of all, there is no time limit for constitution. I will tell you, there are some states like I'm sure Kerala will be one, which will constitute a board maybe immediately. But some state may not form the board for 3 years, 4 years. How are you going to? So then they'll begin the work. So first of all, there has to be a specific time limit for constitution of the board. Secondly, having constituted a board, there has to be a specific time limit, direction. That board must give a specific direction on each of these areas in a specific period. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever you decide. But it should not be longer, because the workers are not being paid for such a long time. So therefore, that's an important issue that you must give time limit. Thirdly, having given the direction about their recommendation, the boards will only recommend to the state government. The state governments have to act. You must prescribe time limit in the act itself. That state government must act. If you don't do that, I'm worried that many of these things, well-intentioned, will remain on paper. Good states will perform, others will not, and the neglected workers will continue to be neglected for a long period of time, now thinking that something has been done by the parliament for them, but in reality nothing will happen. So that's my
thank
request.
you.
And sir, I'm absolutely winding up. And sir, I'm doing that. So my request is, just for last 2 points I'm making. So one request is that all this is done, if you believe that states have also implemented directions and they are so followed. So now my request is, like you have constituted a board to decide the scheme, there has to be a district by district committees to ensure that this is really implemented. Because this is the most important part, will be final implementation. We are only right now talking about a very big apparatus which will go into making schemes only. So finally it's the implementation, and as we have seen in many of well-intentioned schemes of the government, that implementation is the key. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't get anything. That's the final product. So my request is also ensure that district by district committees are made. And sir, my last point is, sir, as we have seen in many cases, provident fund are not paid to the organized labor. Sir, the organized labor who are well organized, who have got muscle power, who have got strength, who can go and agitate. My communist friend agitate for them for all the time. But despite that, many cases the provident fund dues are not paid. How do you ensure that 2 workers and 3 workers organizations will get their provident fund dues? So financial safety of their investment, particularly of the labor benefits, how is going to be ensured? You must think about a proper scheme for that, and I hope you will do that. I know Oscar Fernandez has some good feeling for the unorganized worker in mind. So please ensure this happens. Otherwise, we'll be happy that you have passed the bill. Nothing more will happen. I hope that happens. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.